Tanaka has been one of the longest standing anime composers, scoring for some of the most popular anime shows, including One Piece and also his most iconic soundtrack, Gunbuster.
確かに天野には素質がある。しかしそれ以上にあいつの才能を形作っているのはあいつ自身の努力だ。
The composer himself even provided his voice for the majestic and fabulous chanting. Tanaka was born on February 14, 1954 and played piano at an early age. Tanaka attended Tokyo National University of Fine Arts and Music and worked at Victor Music Industries after graduating. He went on to attend Berklee College of Music in Boston and returned back to Japan 2 years later, where he began composing. Tanaka landed his first job after being founded at a hotel lounge. He was asked to arrange a song in Narcata of My Youth Endless Orbit SSX, an anime show that aired in 1982. Tanaka landed his next big job in 1986, arranging the opening and ending theme songs for Dragon Ball. From there, Tanaka would continue to compose music for various OVAs and anime shows. His early works featured strings, MIDI, and piano, though they tended to lean more towards rock. In 1988, Tanaka created his most iconic soundtrack, Gunbuster, showcasing his masterful usage of a grand and big orchestra. Tanaka would return to Gunbuster's sequel, Diebuster, 15 years later to again score the OST, adding on new nuances, but still keeping the nostalgia of Gunbuster's soundtrack. Tanaka also worked on two of Gundam's soundtracks during the 90s, Mobile Fighter G Gundam and the 08th MS Team. In the 2000s, Tanaka worked on more game and anime soundtracks, and even landing the role of composing One Piece's OST and still working on it to this day. The highlight of Tanaka's songs is his usage of enormous orchestras, and this guy definitely knows how to milk the shit out of a song with raw burning passion that sends chills down your spine. Was that not freaking gorgeous? Because if that wasn't, then I don't know what is. Tanaka is quite versatile, being able to depict the mood of any show, though he shines with happy, lighthearted songs. His orchestra gives a sound rivaling that of Hollywood and Disney scores, and he has had his songs performed by orchestras live in Japan and even in Finland. I personally only listen to a few of Tanaka's soundtracks, as most of his songs have the same feel, and he doesn't really experiment with a wide spectrum of instruments. But his long-lasting dedication to anime music composition that maintains a consistent, high-quality Disney sound earns his spot at number 6 in this countdown.
どうぞ。
どうして気になったんですか？
俺が自発的に調べるのはそんなに奇妙か？
そうですね。オレキさんらしくないような気がしました。
Yuki Kajira's signature style of chorals, strings, and synthesizers has resulted in some of the most amazing and interesting soundtracks to come out in anime. Kajira has garnered one of the biggest fan bases for anime OSTs, and it is clear that Kajira's credentials live up to the hype. Due to her father's work, she lived in West Germany until her middle school years. Her father's interest in opera and classical music would help influence Kajira's musical style. She composed her first musical piece for her grandmother at age 7. Kajira worked as a systems engineering programmer after graduating from college in Tokyo, but later shifted her career to focus on music in 1992. That same year, Kajira made her debut in an all-female music group, Seesaw. The group broke up, leaving Kajira working solo, composing for TV, commercials, anime, and games. In 2001, Kajira reunited with Seesaw and also made their first big hit with the soundtrack for Noir, where she established her musical style of blending the choir, the strings, and the synthesizers. Kajira would go on to compose OSTs for more anime, including the Dot Hack series, My Hime, and Pandora Heart. Kajira formed the Kalafina group in 2007 to perform the theme songs for the Karu no Kyokai films, and would later do more anime theme songs to this day. In 2011, Kajira would go on to work on big anime titles, including Madoka Magica and Sora Online. Yuki Kajira has composed for many anime soundtracks with focus on the haunting, creepy, and emptiness sound. As great as as her OSTs are, they have been suffering from a lack of creativity lately, especially in her recent ones. Kajira is not the only victim of this. Great anime composers like Hiroyuki Sawano do go through this same problem. The soundtracks sound the same, and there is quite a significant overlap of similar sounding songs. For example, I'm all for composers having a certain style, but this is pretty ridiculous. Kajira doesn't seem to experiment further in her composition, and it is what's putting her down on this list. Even outside her OST compositions, Kajira composes the songs for Calafina, which pretty much sound like every other Calafina song, like in the chorus of these two songs. However, in her Madoka Magica soundtrack, Kajira used the flute and orchestra to produce a happier sound that was present throughout the early third of the show. Kajira's work on the Madoka Magica OST is by far her most diverse work, featuring her style of the creepy sound at its best, added with epic choir music contrasting with the light-hearted songs. The soundtrack captures the essence of magical girls and puts in the darkness that defined Maho Shoujo Madoka Magica. Furthermore, Yuki Kajira even invented her own language for her own epic choir music, and it sounds epic, even if it sounds like they're just singing about snacks. What Kajira does, she does very well. Her epic music is like the refined and polished epic music of Hiroyuki Sawano. Sure, she has been reusing the same style, but Kajira has done a wider range of styles than any of the other composers below this list, earning her place at number 5. Number 4. Shiro Sagisu. When talking about classic anime composers, Shiro Sagisu is one that comes to mind, and my god does he do some really nostalgic songs with the classic label stuck to them. Like this song can be played in the beginning of any 80s TV show or even just a jingle for a commercial. Shiro Sagisu was born on August 29, 1957 with a career that began in 1984 with his work on Attacker U, a volleyball anime. Sagisu's profile as an anime composer remained small until he did the soundtracks for Gainax's anime including Nadia, The Secret of the Blue Water, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and its alternative ending, The End of Evangelion, His and Her Circumstances, and Magical Shopping Arcade. Sagisu was also returned to compose the soundtracks for the Evangelion rebuild film, and also work on the Berserk Golden Age trilogy soundtrack. In 2004, Sagisu worked on his biggest soundtrack to this date, Bleach. A series that ran over 300 episodes, the Bleach soundtrack encompassed a wide variety of genres ranging from emotional, heartfelt music or to badass music. Oh, the badass music. A song that I could never take seriously when played. It was hard to tell if the song was trying to take the Hiroyuki Sawano approach by using insert songs to make a scene look epic or badass, or if the song was trying to take the classic soundtrack approach of playing an outdated song with an old school black singer to give off a classic feel. Either way, its usage made the scenes go. Just keeps tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down. But seriously, Shiro Sagisu's soundtracks are memorable. His melodies are clearly distinct and they just stick in your head, either from the nostalgic feel, from the instrumentation, or from its repeated usage in the show. If you've seen Evangelion, don't you remember that song that plays at every angel attack? While Sagisu will stick more to conventional styles of music and not experiment with sounds, what Sagisu makes, it sounds amazing. He can do retro, jazz, sad, lighthearted, badass, and epic music. He makes these genre of music very well, knowing how to blend them into the show. Sagisu's long work spanning over 25 years to this day on high-quality anime soundtracks earns his spot at number 4.